everyone, I'm Kelly Fuller, Learning and Engagement Specialist in Human Resources. In this short video, we're going to talk about tips for writing your self-review and tips for writing the manager review. But first, let's talk about why performance reviews are important. It's crucial that employees and managers take the time to celebrate the successes of the past year, as well as have candid and collaborative conversations about how they're performing and what can be done to help them continue to grow and be successful. Performance reviews are an opportunity to provide affirmation of achievements, identify how lessons learned can be applied to future projects, and identify areas for professional development. In preparing to writing your self-evaluation, brainstorm first. Don't stress over what the words are that you're going to write down, but think about what are your accomplishments from the past year? What went well? What was the impact of what went well? What did you learn? What were some of your struggles? It's important to recognize that we all have struggles on the job, and identifying what those are and ways that we can overcome them is important and shows growth. How did you tackle a challenge or struggle that you faced? What did you learn from it? And then identify items that you can use to support those accomplishments and struggles. Some tools to help you when you're brainstorming. Using your calendar. Flip through the past year and look at what were your meetings, what projects did you work on. Identify thank you notes that you might have received, feedback about projects that you helped with. I flip through my Google Drive to help spark my memory when I can't remember everything that went on over the past year. If you take meeting notes, maybe you have a notebook where you keep notes throughout the year, take a look at that. Look at data that was used throughout the year. How does that support what you accomplished or what you met with a little bit of struggle? And any other tools that you can think of are great ways to just brainstorm the list before you start to narrow it down. When it comes to writing your self-evaluation, take the list that you brainstormed and start to highlight and prioritize your best work. Include a narrative of what you're proud of, what impact it had, and how it aligned with individual or team goals. Stay positive, even when you're talking about your challenges. The goal of a performance review isn't to call out attention to failures, but rather show your willingness to grow. Use I statements, positive language, and include steps you've taken to address the challenge. And look for growth opportunities. Both our successes and our challenges provide developmental opportunities. Performance discussion should always be future-oriented and developmental, and as an employee, it's up to you to own your professional development in conjunction with your manager's guidance. On the HR website, we have some extra resources to help you writing your self-review. This includes an article and a LinkedIn Learning video about feedback, as well as all of the other items that go along with the performance process, so that you're processing key dates, your self-review form, instructions to upload it into Workday, and then tips for your managers that you may want to read through to see what they're going through as well. Speaking of managers, now we're on to you. When you're starting the performance process, like we said in our introduction video about the process and key dates, you don't have to wait until your employee does their self-review. Start brainstorming a list of the employee's successes and challenges. That way, when you do the review, you're not just responding to what the employee wrote. You may think of things that the employee forgot to include. It's important to list those accomplishments and challenges, even if the employee did not mention them. The other thing when you're doing a review for your employees is you want to focus on the work. You want to address what is observable about the outcomes, behaviors, and tasks. Do not reference health or personal circumstances ever. Your review is about their work. It's important to make sure that you're using accountable, observed statements. I have noticed, I've observed. How is the performance met or not met expectations? The other thing is be specific. Don't be global about gaps or great things in the person's performance. An example is, I've noticed your skills are excellent. As an employee, I'm wondering what skills. That's very, very broad. But if you say to someone, I notice your time management skills are excellent, and during that project, those skills helped you and the team reach your goals ahead of schedule. That is much more specific and gives the employee an idea of what went well and where you see value in their skills. Same thing if you're working on a challenge. You want to be specific. Some really important performance pitfalls to avoid if you're a manager. These can be considered biases. Some of them we don't realize that we're doing. Evaluating, comparing to another person rather than basing it on the requirements of the job. A big one that we see is recency effect, and that's because it's most top of mind. You give extra weight to what was done recently versus the importance of what was done earlier. Exception for this would be when earlier performance has been improved upon. If you had a discussion with someone 6 months ago and they have shown improvement, you want to talk about what that improvement has been and how it has helped their performance. There's the halo and the devil effect, and then the similar to me effect. Tendency to judge people more favorably when they do things like you do. Differences are advantages. If people go about things differently than you, make sure that you are recognizing that in the same as you would if someone does it similarly to you. Resources for the manager can also be found on hr.emerson.edu. This includes LinkedIn Learning video about the feedback experience, 100 useful performance review phrases, information about how to conduct a performance review, and other tips to get you through this process. As always, HR is available to assist you. We will be hosting 30-minute one-on-one sessions for anyone who would like to meet with a member of the learning and development team to talk about anything with the performance process. You'll be able to sign up for a date and time of your choosing. This could be something specific about the steps, or maybe you want guidance on how to write a particular section of the review. Anytime, you can always go to hr.emerson.edu and submit a ticket, and it'll be assigned to an HR team member as well. Thanks for watching this quick video and for your participation in the performance review process.